So you just said literally that you're a last-minute person. Is that always?
So that again.
I said you've just said that obviously you're a last-minute person. Is that are you always like that?
Always, yeah. I mean, the only time I'm not last minute, like I'm always one for turning up to shows like before the promoter even does. That's probably about the only good thing that I do. In terms of like getting ready and stuff like that, it's literally last minute.
Wow. But you always put on a good show, though, right?
I always try my best, yeah.
Of course. We're talking, of course, to Marshall Warner. We've got loads of stuff to talk about. Wrestling, and more wrestling, and apparently about himself as well. But anyway, enough rambling on. Let's roll the intro. Now, of course, we're on Wednesday. Marshall, how's the week been, man?
Busy. Fun fact, it's actually my birthday tomorrow, so this is probably the last busiest thing I'm going to do before tomorrow. But yeah, it's been good.
Awesome. So I imagine you're going to get really, really drunk tomorrow then?
No, because I don't actually drink.
Oh, okay. Do you know what? I actually don't as well, so that's nice to hear.
I'll only drink if I'm at a show.
Oh.
Not a family-friendly show. But like, if it's like an 18+ show, then yeah, I always make sure I have a little drink. But
what's the go-to drink?
Oh, that's hard. I'm definitely a beer guy. I don't do spirits or like that. Madre is one of my favourites. San Miguel, I love me San Miguel. Like anything typical, like British typical, like Carlin and stuff like that. I'm never a fan. Nah, don't like it.
Dear, not a problem. So yeah, I mean, I've got to admire you really because you've kind of been trying to get my attention a while. You commented, you tagged yourself in my post about 4 or 5 times. I'm like, I've got to get this guy on.
I know, because I'm hilarious.
You can't beat though Instagram wit though. Let's be honest.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm probably the worst for it on Instagram. Like, I just call people out for the fun of it. It's probably one of my favourite things.
It makes it interesting, though. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, as I mentioned, before we came on the air, we're talking about your career in wrestling. We've got loads of stuff, like I mentioned, and stuff. So let's start at the beginning, man. How did it all begin?
I mean, to be fair, it was only 2 years ago. So technically speaking, it wasn't long. I mean, I think it's the same answer that everyone gives. You know, everyone's love for wrestling started when they were a kid. Everyone watched John Cena, Randy Orton. Well, if they're kind of around my age, etc. But then, you know, you always say to your mum or your dad, "Oh, I want to be a wrestler one day." How often does that ever happen? Not very often at all. I never even intended to do it because when I lived in Nottingham in 2021 and I hated being down there. So when I moved back up here, that's when I thought I really need to do something with my time, and that's when I met someone who was wrestling in Nottingham. Can't remember his name, no idea who he is, and that's when I thought, and I literally had no idea PPW existed. So obviously I researched, up they came. And here I am 2 years later, absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
And it literally all just fell into place like that.
Awesome. So 2 people obviously was heavily involved in PPW is obviously Liam Slater and Nathan Black. What's it like, obviously, basically being trained by those 2?
2 very different people. Liam, lovely guy, so down to earth, straight to the point, great coach. Can't really say like more better about him, to be honest. You know, he's definitely helped me so much. And the one thing I've always liked about him, and the one thing I've always asked from him, he should just give it straight. Tell me how it is. Tell me what I need to do, and that's what he does, and that's what I like. Because unfortunately, you don't improve without, what's the word? Criticism. Yes, hard criticism. I love a bit of hard criticism because even though it sucks a bit, you know, you ain't gonna learn if you don't. Nathan, ah, Nathan. Obviously, I just can see from like PPW socials, he's all about social media and reels, but he's such a good laugh. And I don't know if you saw. So I had my debut at Rise the other week.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Mm-hmm.
was initially Nathan that had introduced me to the promoter of Rise. So and I haven't actually thanked him yet for that because I haven't seen him. But yeah, Nathan was definitely a big part in like kind of helping me get there for that.
Awesome, awesome. There's some obviously incredible people from PPW. I mean, Alf is obviously one who comes to my mind straight away. I mean, there's some incredible talent in PPW. What's it like being part of that?
Crazy. I mean, like, so I'm here on a night where they're doing fundamental session, and obviously you've got Leon Slater doing those sessions, and obviously huge star, young in TNA. You know it, but then obviously you've got other stars. You know you've got BA Rose here. You know you've got Ardman Dan, Kemper. I'm so bad with names. Jet Marshall, Joe Wade, Kid Lycos too. You know, being surrounded by them all the time it is great, and you know you can learn so many different things from each individual, and that's one thing I love about this place. Like everyone is so unique in their own way.
Absolutely. You mentioned obviously today about learning and stuff like that. What's the biggest thing Liam's obviously taught you? Obviously, in the 2 years of us you've been training.
Character is like obviously there's so many different aspects of character, but there's no point in being a good wrestler if you haven't got good character. And obviously it's something that you know is still developing. It'll always still develop. It'll never be finalized. But yeah, the one thing has been like character, and it's one thing I'm personally big on as well. Like if I ever watch wrestling, obviously I'm interested in the wrestling, but character for me is massive.
100%, 100%, and stuff like that. And talk about obviously developing your character as a whole, because I obviously watched a couple of your matches, and I just love how you the entrance. I just love the whole thing about you. Talk about building your character as a whole.
You might have to elaborate because there's a lot I could say. So let's start with something small.
Okay, yeah. So talk about obviously the in-ring style. Let's start with that. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously I love the high flying thing. I mean, two matches we'll obviously talk about after is obviously your match with Succubus. That was the first match I saw about you. But yeah, talk about your in-ring style. How did obviously all that come about?
Um, I like to think I'm a bit nuts. Like people, like it. If I've not met people before, they look at me and I am usually quite a pretty quiet person. I am pretty shy sometimes. I can be, but as soon as I'm out that curtain, everything just switches, and I will take the craziest stunts, bumps, whatever, and also I know people see it all the time, but whenever I see something like a crazy bump or a crazy stunt, I always want to be one step up on that. Um, and that's where the kind of adrenaline comes from it, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much all I am. Just I'm just nuts.
Awesome. So for people obviously who's not obviously list off like familiar with you, describe your character for somebody who's not obviously familiar.
Some people might say I'm a bit like a knockoff version of Randy Orton. I'm not. I would say my character is he's very very volatile. You know, you people watch wrestling and they're like, oh, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do this. That ain't me. That ain't me. But also as well, and I'm not really going to elaborate further, otherwise I'll probably end up saying something I shouldn't. But I don't like to cheat. Right? My ego is too high to cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I pride myself on the fact that I am an absolute goat. Right? I don't care how big I am. I mean, I'm not big at all. I'm very small. I'm only 5'8". But I have a lot of confidence that I will demolish anyone, and this is why I love wrestling like a lot bigger guys, because I feel like get more character development out of that. I mean, obviously, I've wrestled smaller guys. No one really smaller than me because I don't think there is anyone smaller than me. But yeah, but bigger guys, I do prefer.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Then I'm just. You said smaller guys. I'm just thinking our smallest kid like us too.
Oh no, yeah, kid like us too. Yeah, he is actually shorter than me. Oh, and Jet Marshall, he's smaller than me as well. But I've never actually wrestled either of them, so.
Okay. So I mentioned obviously earlier about the match with Succubus. Now, what was that match like? Because I remember obviously researching that before I obviously came on, and you look really interesting match. Talk about obviously working with her.
Well, that was my first ever professional match, and obviously I was shitting bricks. I'd been training literally just under a year at this point. So I was really nervous. Like I was happy with what I could do in ring, but in terms of like being in front of a crowd, doing it in a show sort of aspect, that's what I was really nervous about. Succubus, obviously, I knew her a little bit before that, and we are really good friends. So big respect. But I really enjoyed it. And obviously, I kind of had like a basis of like a character at this point, and when I came out and did it, I just did what I did, and everything just kind of went on from there. Like nothing was like set in stone. I just came out, did what I needed to do, and then I looked back and went, right, now I need to develop from this, and this. But it was great working with her.
Yeah, I mean that match is obviously on YouTube if fans want to go check that out. If I remember correctly,
it is correct.
There you go. So if anyone wants to go check that out, PPW's website, YouTube channel, Marshall's obviously on there with Succubus. Great match. Go check it out. There you go. Little promotion for you.
Thanks.
Not a problem. So talk about obviously first bump. What was that like?
First bump in training or first bump in a match?
Let's go first bump in training, then we'll go first bump in match.
Well, so also at PPW, whenever anyone like wants to join the facility, they run a 6-week beginners course. You learn to do like you learn body slam, suplexes, taking bumps, rolls, and stuff like that. And then you always finish it off with like a little guided match at the end of it. Taking a bump has never been something that I've been worried about. Like I said, I've always come into this mindset, in wrestling of just be nuts, be crazy, do whatever you need to do. I think I find it worse when I've not trained for a few weeks taking a bump than when I did first ever take a bump. I mean, maybe it's because I'm getting old now, but like if I had a couple of weeks off and I take a bump, I will cry about it for a good 20 minutes.
Wow. Would you say that's one of the hardest things? Obviously, is constantly training for wrestling.
No, I mean, like for me, obviously we do open. I love open sessions. Open sessions are a chance for us to do what we need to practice on. Like move sets and mainly stuff like that. The character development sessions are probably my favorites because I know that's really what I need to kind of lock into. Me personally, if I can't get something right, I will beat myself up so much about it. And I am obviously learning from that, but I think it's because obviously I want it right first time. I know that's not going to happen, but I still beat myself up about it. But I know the more I beat myself up, the more I'm going to be like, get back in the game, drive.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it earlier on. It's like constantly, like learning. Do you know what I mean?
Say that again. Sorry.
You mentioned it earlier, like constantly. Like training. Do you know what I mean? Learning.
Yeah. I mean, even when I'm not at training, like I'm still learning from other like people and things like I talk to a lot of people like on social media and stuff like that. People that I know personally. And again, learning outside the ring is just as important as it is learning inside.
Absolutely. So this next question kind of stumps a lot of people, but it's not designed to. So for fans who's obviously not familiar with yourself, why should fans go check you out? This is kind of like a way to promote yourself.
Because I'm fucking sick. That's why. The way I see it is, right. If you've got a family of 4 at a show, you've got 2 young kids, you've got dad and you've got mum. Marshall Warner is always going to go for mum. Mum don't care about 2 children. Marshall Warner don't care about 2 children. Marshall Warner don't care about dad. All Marshall Warner's bothered about is the lady's attention, because that's what fulfills his ego. And that's why the ladies love to come and watch me. The dads hate me. The kids absolutely despise me. Honestly, I will spit at your children like there's no tomorrow. I could not care less. I will steal their drinks, and yes, obviously I won't spurt any bad language at them, of course. But the lady, I could be like this to dad, and then I could be all lovey-dovey to the mum. And that is pretty much me summed up as a person.
Oh dear! From that response alone, I'm trying to work out if you like the 18+ shows or family shows.
I do love the 18+ shows a lot more. I mean, also, I love family shows as well, because I do think family shows further enhance that character. It helps like the in-ring, like basic character stuff. Like what heels and baby faces should be doing, and the 18+ is kind of just a chance to just go a bit wild. That's always the way I see it.
Dear. So we've got a question from DC. It says, "Hi, Marshall, Anna, Gerd. Can you remember me from your last show?"
No.
Uh-oh.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what to say to that.
Great. Next one.
Dude, this is live, by the way. This is why I love it live, because I just never know what fans are going to say.
I have no idea who that was. Fucking little pussy.
Oh dear. So, being obviously a wrestler and stuff like, I'm trying to move on before I get kicked off. Come on, Liam. Right. So anyway, yeah. So being obviously a wrestler and stuff like that, you get the chance to watch wrestling from like a fan's point of view.
Absolutely. I'm as big of a whenever you see like kids in the crowd at wrestling shows, just like the crazy ones that cheer and they boo for everyone. That is me. I am still secretly like that. I will happily sit at home at like 1 a.m. watching Monday Night Raw, just being a kid. I mean, I'll tell you something funny, right? And only my girlfriend actually knows that this happened. So when Cody beat Roman at WrestleMania, I cried really bad, because I love Cody, but no, I was too gutted that Roman lost, so I did cry a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of which, do you think his title reign's kind of been a bit underwhelming?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Roman as the undisputed champion. Never once would he have been put on a show opener. He made that title so prestige that no one was ever going to touch it. And I feel like I personally don't really like Cody like as it is. I don't really get any excitement from watching him. I do feel like he's very much like a young kid's. I mean, obviously that is the direction that it's looking at. It's the same with John Cena, but for me, like I love heels in wrestling. Yeah, Cody's just not it for me, and I'm just not a fan of his reign.
No, me neither, and stuff like that. And you mentioned their heel. I mean, I imagine you're a heel all the way. Let's be honest.
Absolutely, yeah. Always. I find it easier to be a dick than I do to be good.
I mean, I can't argue with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and my face naturally, like I can smile, but it looks fake, and that's the issue I have.
Heel all the way. Then we'll keep it at that, shall we?
Heel all the way.
Dear. So obviously you mentioned there 2 years as well. You've been obviously training. Have you had many injuries?
Yeah. Well, I had one serious / non-serious, but it took me out of the ring for quite a while. I tore a ligament in my right ankle.
Ooh.
That sucked, and it was done in the stupidest way ever. It was ridiculous. We was doing like a drill, so I was in the middle of the ring. You had 4 people in each corner. You'd do 4 strikes, 4 kicks. On literally the very last kick that I did, it was a bicycle kick. Silly me had gone a bit too far in. I can't quite remember what happened, but I did it. It connected, and then my ankle just went, and then I was on the floor, and I was like, "What's going on?" And then I only spent 5 weeks out of the ring. Within 3 weeks of injuring it, I was in the gym, getting it back up to strength, and then I was in the ring.
Wow.
Probably a bit too early because I tried doing double sessions, and I've kind of paid the consequences for that.
Wow. Okay. So we'll catch up obviously on the comments and stuff. Ali Kane says, "Come to Scotland, you'll get plenty of bad language out of the kids." I can just imagine you arguing with your kids in Scotland.
I love arguing with kids in the crowd. I get such a kick out of it. It's great. I see. For me, like as Marshall Warner, I will not back down. I have to prove a point, and I will stop the entire show just to prove a point. Yeah. Scotland, I've not wrestled there yet. I'd love to wrestle in Scotland. Like Scottish people are just crazy, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I feel like the kids are all rough.
Oops.
I mean, they're all pretty rough up there, aren't they? But you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do. DC says, "Can you ask Marshall on a potential matchup with Yuri?" Sorry, what?
Oh, sorry, that made me laugh. just reread that in your head.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, that made me laugh.
I listen to you. I mean, this is what happens when you're live. I just show the comments.
Oh dear. Anyway, next.
Ali Kane says, "Who is your ultimate heel?" Correct answer being Roddy Piper, of course.
Ultimate heel. Oh, that's hard. I actually don't have an answer for that. I wouldn't say I have like a favorite heel, or like a best heel. Oh, now you put me on the spot. Shit. Next question. I'll think about it, and I might give you an answer.
Okay. So when we obviously put this on Twitter that you were coming on the show, we obviously had a few questions from fans and stuff like that. So we're going to knock these out of the park. And the first one came from Marshall Warner. He says, "Why is he good looking? Why is he so slick? And why is he the GOAT?" Apparently, do you know this guy?
No, I'll definitely answer the question though. Yes, and yes, really. That's all I have to say about that. Yes, full stop. Yes, full stop. Yes, full stop. Correct. 100% tick.
And he says, "What's your favorite heel moment?" Then how about
that? Me super kicking wrestling Jeebus in the face.
Was that you? I forgot about that.
How do you forget about that? Yes, that was me.
Wow.
I nearly took his jaw off for that. That's probably my favorite heel moment. Oh, and I was gonna try and set him on fire, and I wasn't allowed.
Wait, what? I have questions.
Yes, go ahead.
Who, when, what, why?
So my plan was to set him on fire.
No questions at it. Is that all we're gonna get?
Yeah, that's all you're gonna get.
Was this at Rise by any chance?
No, this was a PPW house show.
Oh, wow. This show is going off the rails. I don't even know what's happening anymore.
No, I've never actually done anything to him outside of PPW.
This is a blast. I don't even know what's happening anymore. Let's just go to the next question. Dear. Richard Lunner says, if you could work with any wrestlers from any time or place, who would be your top 5?
My top 5. Finn Balor, because he's Irish. That's my only reason for that. Leon Slater. Absolutely. I mean, he's currently through that door, but yeah. Obviously, I've worked with him in training, but if I ever had the chance to work him in a match, absolutely, 100%. To be fair, I had read this question the other day. I just hadn't thought of anything, so I'm going on the spot here. Probably Brock Lesnar. He'd be one. Like I feel like he hits hard. And it sounds weird, but I love shit like that. Like I feel like he just absolutely annihilate me. Who else? Big Show, absolutely the Big Show, just because he's absolutely huge. Who else? Red Scorpion.
Okay, I'm digging that. I'm not against that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm liking that. There you go. So if that answers your question. Did you say you saw that question beforehand?
Yeah, I did see that question before, and I just couldn't be bothered to think of an answer.
At least you're honest, mate.
There are a lot more people that I'd love to work, but like in terms of like idol kind of matches, yeah, I'd definitely love to work them people.
Awesome stuff like that. So one more question else we've got here, and it's from Simon Gibb. Favorite wrestler, dream opponent, and why so handsome? Why is it with these handsome questions? Are you paying people to say this?
I kid you not, I don't even know who that guy is. It wasn't me. I mean, I'll answer that one first. Just, I mean, I'm me. You know, I'm me. That's all I can really say about that. It's me.
I'm me.
Why the fuck would I not be handsome? Like, I mean, I step out in some of the coolest gear. Like, my shades are bomb as fuck. Even though I can never see anything out of them most of the time. Yeah, I'm just sick. I'm sick, I'm slick, and I'm a bitch.
There you go. There you go. You've had.
What was the other part of the question?
Let me find out for you. Favorite wrestler, dream opponent.
Oh, we've already answered that. Dream opponent. Yeah, I've already answered that. Favorite wrestlers. Ricochet, Chad Gable, currently.
Interesting. Not many people said Chad Gable. That's a really interesting one.
There's just something about like he's so athletic and he's selling it. I love someone who can sell. I love an oversell. Like for me personally, I oversell everything. But Chad Gable, I love his matches. Like I can't not watch his matches. Every time he's on screen, I can't not watch him. He's great. And Ricochet, again, he's a high flyer. I love high flying stuff, and some of the stuff like I've seen him do with like Will Ospreay and stuff like that. Light bulb, dream opponent, Will Ospreay.
I would love to see that. By the way,
there you go. I mean, I don't know if you've seen like clips where Jeebus was trying to get like this fucking Poundland Will Ospreay thing going against me. So yeah. I mean, I'll take that. It was after the double springboard moonsault video where they started calling me that. But I will take that. And Will Ospreay reposted that video, so fuck you.
I'm going to be honest. This is one of the only interviews where I cannot stop smiling. This is brilliant. Dear. So after a match and stuff like that, how do you wind down?
Good question. I don't think I ever wind down until like a week later.
Really?
Which sounds really weird. Like, obviously, when I made my debut at Rise, um, it was a lot of me kind of nagging and being like, "Is there anything we can do?" Da, 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 da. And then when I took the idea, it was like, "Yeah, let's do it." I did it, and then I was just buzzing from it. I'm still buzzing now from it, and I'm absolutely buzzing for the next show. You know, it's one of the things where I don't think it ever disappears. Um, yeah, I think if I ever wind down, then I kind of lose interest, and I'm not really that bothered. So I'm always winded up. I like to think.
Yeah. Awesome. So, what's one of the biggest things wrestling's taught you as a person? Could be in the ring, could be outside the ring.
Hang on, let me just go back to that question. Nando's after a match.
What's the go-to? Go on, you got to tell me your favorite. What's your Nando's order then?
Oh, my Nando's order. Obviously, peri peri fries. Um, is it? I think it's. Is it the Sunset Burger?
I think so. Something along the
I'm
line.
not
I've
sure
not
if that's
actually.
the name of it. Like, I'm really fussy. Like with food, me, I'm really fussy. Like, especially when it comes to burgers. I can't. I don't do tomatoes. I don't do pickles. Pickle, nasty. I'll have lettuce and sauce, and that's about it. But that burger, I don't take anything off it. It's orgasmic.
I fancy a Nando's all of a sudden.
Yes, as well. Anyway, next one. Sorry, go on.
That's absolutely fine. So yeah, what's the biggest thing wrestling's taught you as a person? It could be in the ring, could be outside the ring.
Um, definitely. I don't even know the fucking word for this. Maturity. I would say maturity, respect, things like in wrestling, it's all about looking after the person that you're in ring with. They need to be looking after you. You're putting them over, they're putting you over, and it's just all about having that mutual respect. And that's how you connect with people in the industry. That's how you get to know people. That's how you get places, etc. And discipline, absolutely.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
love the. Sorry,
sorry, go
okay.
on.
Oh, yeah, you first, mate.
There's been a lot of times where it's probably going to get a bit low now. There's a lot of times where I've definitely doubted myself, and where I've gone, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm not with it anymore. And that's just from like just life experiences that have happened outside of wrestling. Like if I've been out the ring for a bit and I've come back and I've just been like, this don't feel right. Because in October, I was away for the entire month. I was away for about 6 weeks actually, and then when I finally got back into the ring, I just felt really not uncomfortable, but I just didn't kind of know where I was,
Mm-hmm.
and and I obviously I know it was just in that moment, and I knew I could build myself back up from it and get over it, but just in that moment, I was like, am I slipping? Am I going on a loop? Because if I'm pushing, I will constantly push. Obviously, I know sometimes you have to backtrack and there are setbacks and stuff like that. I completely understand that. But once I feel like that, I feel like something's just not right. And then my brain just automatically goes, you can't do this anymore. Don't do it. You're not a good wrestler. There's no point, etc.
Wow. And what?
Yeah,
Yeah. And
I got a
what
bit
was
low with
that?
that.
Yeah. Wow. And what kept you going? If you don't mind me asking.
Um, fucking hell, this is gonna be a long story. So in August of 2023, so I was still training at this. I was early on. So my dad, he passed away in August of 2023, and that put me on a massive setback. I was coming to training, and then I was leaving halfway through just because I couldn't get in that mindset. I just didn't have anything in me just to keep going at that point. And that proper hurt because wrestling is that getaway from reality. And even that wasn't doing the trick at all. So I was like, shit. And then kind of coming back from that, it's more of just learning that, like for me personally, I mean, this is going to get even worse now. If I know someone, that passes, I'd say I'm quite very spiritual about stuff like that. They're gone. That's that. There's nothing you can do about it. And the only thing you can do is carry on because you're the one that's still living.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't make a name for yourself, then you're proving people wrong. I started wrestling to prove a point. Just because someone's gone, that shouldn't stop my own progression or put me on a downward spiral, should I say?
Wow, man. Yeah, it's very rare I'm speechless on these, mate. But thank you for so much for obviously being open about that.
Yeah, no one has ever heard that story.
Wow. Yeah. I don't even know where to go with this, but I've just seen a comment what somebody's put, so I'm hoping to try and bring the thing back up a bit. I'll let you read that question.
Oh shit, it's gone off. Bring it back up. If you was a breakfast cereal type, what would you be? Lol. Oh. What personally, like, I'll tell you my favorite, and then I'll tell you what I think I would be as Marshall Warner. My favorites is Craves.
Mm-hmm.
I love Craves. I'd eat them all day if I could. I'd eat them for breakfast, dinner, whatever. They're great. And do you know? I haven't seen them in so long. Do you know the Cocoa Pop Rocks?
Yep.
Like not the circle ones. It's more of the oval ones, the ones that've got like the more chocolate inside them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm on about? Yeah,
Yeah.
That shit is good. That's so good. I would sit there as like an 8-year-old kid, like, oh. But I think if Marshall Warner was a cereal, I reckon he'd probably be Aldi's version of Rice Krispies.
This is brilliant. A few little more questions, mate, as we obviously begin to wind down and stuff like that. I mean, you said there you've been wrestling obviously 2 years, man. What's obviously the goal for you for 2025?
I bring it back to a tweet that PPW put out. I can't remember what the actual context of it was. It was a clip of me somewhere, and the caption was, "You see Marshall Warren in 2024. Wait to see what's in store for 2025." Obviously, I'm having a great time with FCW 5-Star Championship Wrestling. Shout out to Rob. I'm having a great time with them. There are things that I'm doing. Obviously, I can't say out at the minute. But there are big things coming up with them. Rise, I'm so fucking excited for. I love watching it as a fan, and them being a part of the show, it's just absolutely nuts. And like meeting people like Trent Seven. Fun fact: Trent Seven gave me a T-shirt of his for my performance at the debut, just to get my ego a little bit higher. But yeah, there are other things in the pipeline that are not confirmed yet. So I can't say anything, and I don't like to say anything publicly until it's official because I don't like a dick.
Yeah.
But I am pushing to get in the wider regions this year.
Is there any promotions obviously you'd like to aim for? Any like particular what's on your list? Okay, is that just all going to be shh?
True Grit, absolutely. TNT.
Yeah. Scotland.
I mean, obviously, I'm going to say Rev Pro and Progress, but I am not aiming for them at all at this moment in time. I do like to set myself small goals. But yeah, True Grit, proper Yorkshire-based wrestling organisation. Obviously, you got Tidal as well, Mega Slam Wrestling, places like that. Yeah, I'd definitely love to wrestle. Oh, Planet Wrestle, Jake, Planet Wrestle.
You see, you mentioned True Grit there, and I'm just thinking, are you like in the ring with somebody like Brady Phillips? I feel like that'd be an interesting matchup.
I don't know who the crowd would hate more.
That's the whole point.
I mean, to be fair, I think of me and him as a tag team. To be honest, I think that would be brutal.
Or a tag team, yeah. Could be.
Yeah, I mean, thinking of it like character-wise, I don't think it would actually like it would settle, but it would be carnage.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
100%.
and also, I don't care which promotion this is. I don't care where it's at. I could not give a fuck. Like it could be on a beach. I really want to. I'm not even gonna say wrestle. I want to fight an AJ again,
Yeah, okay.
and that's all I'm gonna say on that. I just really want to. I just want to beat the living fuck out of him. That boy. And I'm getting into. I need to stop now. Now, realistically, I love AJ. AJ was like the first guy that I'd had like a proper feud with. And we ended it with an I quit, and I have so much respect for that guy. He's the only guy I would ever let punch me in the face properly, just for effect. Great guy.
Say hello to this fan.
Oh, Aya Keeley. Yeah, you haven't come seeing my fucking shows, have you? Yeah, I remember. But hello anyway. I'll drop you a message. Lycra or Hendos? Hendos? What's that?
I have no idea. I'm just showing the comments.
Lycra. I mean, I wear Lycra. If that's what we mean. Yeah. Next question.
We're actually out of questions, mate. So obviously, I'm going to show the promotion stuff, which obviously he sent us. So I'll show the image, and you get the chance to promote it on. So this is the first one. Promote it, yeah. Go on.
Oh, can I speak?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so this is 5-star again. So 19th April. So we debuted a show at Lee Mount. In December of last year. Sell out, great success. We advertised it everywhere. We didn't actually know the kind of like turnout we were going to get at first because you can only buy on the door or through like text or something. I don't know how it works. But yeah, we had a massive turnout. Families loved it. The kids loved it. I mean, the kids were horrible, to be fair. Awful. Proper council estate. But they loved it and they had a great time. I don't know if it's just because they hated me that much. I mean, I nearly ended up fighting about 10 different kids. But I take that as a win. But yeah, we are back there. We've got to deal with them for the entire year now because they loved having us there. So and for that specific venue, there is something that they're doing soon, but I can't say.
Okay. Next one, you mentioned Rise. Sorry, go on.
No, go on. I'm done now.
Okay, you mentioned Rise. This is obviously the next show.
Yes. Huge weekend for Rise. Obviously, they've got ICW coming over. The demand was that high. You know, they added Friday, the 21st, as an extra show. Because on the 22nd, they've got a 2-show day. And it's basically just going to be an all-out big war between ICW and Rise.
And you're going to be Pirate.
I hope so. I have no idea what is happening, but yeah. big things.
Absolutely. Third one.
First FCW show of the year with the return of Martin Kirby. God help him. Yeah, so the match card hasn't gone out yet, but I will tell you who my opponent is. So I will be fighting TJ Sky. And yeah, the match card hasn't gone out, but I don't care. So if Rob, you're watching, I don't care. Me and TJ going to be an absolute banger of a match. We're both springy, we're both high flyer, and I'm going to batter him. And end of story.
Next one.
I mean, I don't really have to say much more than that. Charles Crowley.
Yeah. And of course,
I mean,
Martin Kirby
if you want to come see, if you want to come see Charles Crowley and Martin Kirby and whoever the fuck that sausage is on the right hand side, come to Ripon. Winner.
That fucker at side.
Yeah, fuck him.
Dear. I don't even know what's happening.
Keely, I don't. What? Never Yorkshire, I don't know. No, I'm lost. You might have to elaborate, Keely. Next. See you there. Which one?
We've gone that quick. I don't even know what's happening.
No idea. But another little spoiler. So this is later on in the year, but I am in talks with somebody overseas
Ooh.
for a potential opportunity.
That's going to be interesting. And you can't reveal it yet.
No, I'm going to keep it quiet. Closest. The Sheffield one. I'll bring you a bottle. Thank you very much. I like to
don't
get
even
wasted.
know what's happening.
No idea. I think we're just having just a one-way conversation here.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm just showing the comments here.
Yeah, so I know what you're on about. Thank you very much. Next question.
Before we also head off, Marshall, this has been an absolute blast. Is there anything else you'd like to plug, like your socials and stuff?
Follow me on Instagram. Search my name. I'm everywhere. Search me on YouTube. I'm the first thing that comes up.
That is true.
Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just slick, and I tend to follow people back because I'm really nice like that. I have this thing on Instagram, like if someone follows me and they look like they've got a decent Instagram, I always make sure I follow them back.
Follow for follow. That's what we always say.
Follow. Yeah, I know. It's just a way to get followers. I'm joking. No, but yeah, I'm always active on Instagram. I'm usually posting stuff most of the time. I'm not gonna lie, I do slack when it comes to posting on Instagram. I'm always like putting stories up and things like that, and I'm always I love priding myself on the fact that I share a lot of people's like other stuff that they promote as well. But in terms of putting actual posts up, useless.
Absolutely useless. Marshall, this has been an absolute blast, my man. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourself.
I have actually. It has been nice to just to kind of be me. And obviously, I know, ridiculous fans are probably going to go, "Oh, kayfabe, I'm breaking the fourth wall." How about suck on that, prick? I don't care. It's my birthday tomorrow. I couldn't give a fuck. I just want to let my hair down for one day.
There you go. There you go. I hope you have a good birthday, mate, tomorrow. So one final thing I need from you is you get to do the outros. You can say anything you want, and I will roll the outro.
Oh, I get to. Oh, now I best be careful. KT Gold, I'm coming for you. NAJ, fuck you. I will batter you again. And again. And again. Rob, I love you. And last but not least, I actually do like Wrestling Jeebus, personally. He's a very good friend of mine, and I love him very much. And a big shout out to Ben from Fast Cams as well, and Chloe, and Nikki. People think I hate him. I don't hate him. I love Jeebus. He's a great guy. He's helped me a lot, personally. And same with Ben as well. I love Ben to bits. He's helped me a lot on the side. But yeah, that's it.